All right, and we are looking to be live right now. Check 1 2, check 1 2. All right, gang, here we are. Welcome back to the soapbox. I actually brought it into the old ham studio, so we'll see how we like it. I'm in, got some lighting, hopefully some better sound, but we'll try it out. But I want to do an episode on some stuff I was chatting about this week. So it was a really busy week at Reebok CrossFit when we hosted 20.5 with Annie Thorsdottir, Pat Villner, which was an amazing event. It was a live stream. It was my first time behind the desk as a broadcaster. Learned a lot. Just a quick shout out to my buddy and co-worker Chase Ingram, just unbelievable professional, so good at what he does. It was cool to kind of follow his lead and learn a new skill set, and it was really awesome. I really enjoyed learning that whole world of sort of on camera, off camera, and all these things. It was really cool, and a whole new respect for that. People that do that. Hopefully for those of you that watched it, you enjoyed it. I know there are some stream issues and people get really upset. I wasn't aware of that. Hopefully from the stuff that we were saying and some of the stuff that you watched us on screen there, we added some value, and always welcome some feedback, and if you enjoyed that, let me know. Maybe that's not the last time I'm behind the desk. But prior to that, we had Reebok brought a bunch of affiliates in, and I did some talks on, obviously informal discussions, but also we chatted a lot about coaching development ahead of time with, some of the most successful gyms in the U.S. So it was nice to be able to have that conversation, and really broke down the coaching development program and how important it is, to develop our coaches and lay that framework, and had some really good, healthy, fun discussions on, the importance of not only coaching development, which I don't think anyone argues that, but how do we actually implement that at the gym, and what does that look like? How does that relate to our gym professionally as well? So really, it's the conversation really was, one thing I want to highlight is, all right, I believe that, and others I work with and surround myself with believe that coaching as a technical skill is the product that we deliver, and that's the cornerstone of what we do inside a CrossFit gym. And it's difficult because as soon as we start to cross the realm from passion and all this other stuff and into business, it's easy for that to really go by the wayside. It's really easy for, all right, well, you know what? I can get as many people into my gym and working out as possible. And I think a few things need to be understood here, which is like, what are our goals? And if our goal is to do CrossFit, if our goal is to teach what we've been doing and from high skill to low skill to low loading to high loading and everything in between, then that's CrossFit. If not, then that's okay. I have not too much passion for that personally, and don't speak to that too much, where it's like, I don't really worry about, I don't need hundreds of people coming into the gym. That model's a little different. And if you're like, hey, what would that look like? We can have that discussion. But I think that in a vacuum, it's like, how do we actually have a CrossFit gym, and what does that look like, and how do we handle that from a coaching perspective? And I also don't think they need to be mutually exclusive, because I run Reebok CrossFit One, which has every fitness offering you can imagine, and we're successful. So I don't think that they need to be mutually exclusive there. So we can touch on that. But really the point is, okay, in order to develop your coaches, that's not the purpose of this episode. The purpose is, okay, you talk about lesson planning, and what do you expect of your coaches? You expect them to learn, you expect them to prep, you expect them to study before their classes. And this is the discussion we're having. This is what I expect. And all right, well, if you have a 60-minute class, but I expect you to do a lesson plan and prepare. And that's going to take maybe a half an hour to prepare. Depending on the day, depending on the movements, your comfortability with one of these movements here, you might actually have to spend an hour. I'm not that good at teaching backward rolls or Turkish get-ups or things like that, where I would have to spend more time prepping, studying, to then deliver a good product on the floor. To teach it, to see it, to correct it, to be confident, to know what to say, to know what to look for, when to look for it, and when is it happening. that comes with preparation. I'd write my lesson plan, so on and so forth. And this expectation is for my coaches. So if, and a cool question was like, what if you pay your coaches, $25 an hour, just put a number on it. And then you expect them to do this. If this is the expectation, then, really, are you paying them $25 an hour? Are you paying them $12.50 an hour, whatever it might be, right? And I think the short answer is, well, the expectations are the expectations, right? So, and yes, I expect you to be on the floor, and this is the job I expect you to do for the hour, but the expectation is that your quality is high. Now, do you need to write a lesson plan? Yeah, I would expect it. But here's another thing. Like, I can write a lesson plan a lot faster than a brand new coach because I've been doing it for so long and I'm well practiced. I'm more veteran. I've earned that right because I can do it. 10 years ago, I did not. It would take me maybe 30, 45 minutes to write a lesson plan for my classes, prepare for my classes, if not more. But I still coached my classes and was paid a lot less to coach then than I am now. But yet I was spending more time prepping. So I think that the long story here is, it's what we need to understand is, if that's the expectation, lay the expectation out. If your people don't want to work for that, or they're not willing to, then I think now you have a question. It's like, well, great. For me, it's like, I don't want you to work for me. I don't want you around, quite honestly, because that's not the type of people I want. And I was talking to a few of my coworkers and people I worked with for years, and for about 10 years, I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most unbelievable coaches, and they've showed up at my gym. They've asked to work for me. They've asked to just intern for me. Their work ethic, their want to grow inspires me because it is unyielding. It's unbelievable. To this day, and I can rattle off names of coaches that I have at my gyms that now work for me full time, that are still interns, that are now beyond the walls of the business that I'm a part of, because they're on to greater pastures or greener pastures relative to their life. And I don't think they've come to me because, I was a subpar games athlete. I don't think because my last name's Malleolo. I don't think any of that. It's because I truly believe it's that, these people, and this is I didn't know this at the time, but when they came, they were looking to grow and get better. And they felt that the environment that I created, more or less, the people around me and myself included created, they wanted to be a part of, because they saw that this is how they become a better coach, a better professional. We talk about the professionalization of fitness, and coaching. Well, this is how they thought to do it. And gosh, I don't think there's a damn better way. And so they would show up and do this. And I've never had, we've needed coaches at points, and we've had to, hire coaches, of course, the sort of traditional method, but more often than not, people are showing up, and gosh, I wish I had openings sooner for all of them, or wish I had more opportunities for them sooner. But it's one of those things where that's the standard we set, and it trickles down. We have coaches that coach a couple classes a week, that it's not their full-time job, but it's when I set the standard, and it trickles down to my head coaches, my operators, my part-time coaches, they do as well. We have people that are they as good as coaches as other people? No, that's okay. But if what we expect of them is no different, full-time, part-time, hourly, whatever it might be, and that is something that I truly believe separates the best from anywhere else. Just because if you run a great business, does that mean you're a great CrossFit gym? Absolutely not. If you are an unbelievable coach, does that mean you can run a great business? Absolutely not. So what does this mean? What this means is that I look at my gyms, I look at gyms that I admire and look up to, their ability to coach and the environment they create is unparalleled. And that's something that And they want to make their people better. And in turn, they're making their veteran members better. If you're losing veteran members, you're not a good enough coach because you're not getting them better. You're not intriguing them. You're not educating, inspiring, entertaining them. It's not the best part of their day. You're not getting them new skills, whether that's a muscle up, more strict pull-ups, whatever it might be. People come to CrossFit, certainly, fanatical gym people, because of it breaks the monotony of what was once, right? But then 10 years into CrossFit, the monotony of the routine and the periodization is now crept into variance, ironically enough, for some of us. But what does that mean? But how do we keep pushing the envelope, learning new skills, getting new lifts, whatever it might be? Transferring what we're doing in the gym to other things. It can be as simple as you have a softball league or some sort of sport league that is sort of from your gym. Because I can tell you that 10 years ago, I wouldn't be interested in that. All I cared about was CrossFit. But now maybe I would be interested in that. But your community in the gym keeps you there, and then we start to realize that the fitness we're garnering in the gym is allowing us to do other things. So, but regardless, this is the thought process that we need to have. And I know how hard it is for coaches to get better, because it's much easier to get business advice. It's much easier to learn how to run an effective business. There's just way more resources out there, whether it's managing a P&L to marketing to client retention management to your systems and operations. All of this stuff is out there, and most of it's relatively free. But how do you become a better coach? Well, there's no seminar, there's no course, there's no Excel spreadsheet that's going to get you there. The coaching development program is one that I know is an effective tool, because, and for any other reason, is that people that have come have told us that. We try to give every single person that walks in the door for the CDP, and I know our CDP coaches do the same thing, and they leave thinking and saying that this was amazing. I can't believe I didn't know this. I can't believe I didn't know this sooner. Can I stay for more than 3 days? Whatever it might be. And the amount of money and time that they invest into this means that they care, and means that it's difficult to find this type of resource. And I hope every time I get nervous and petrified that I'm giving them everything I have, that I hope that they leave and they feel like it was worth their time and their money investment. But that's how I know there's a void out there and there's a need for it. Our coaches need to be better. You need to be better. And we need to invest in our people. Yes, there's the fears because of what if I invest in my people, will they leave? Maybe. I work at Reebok and I see good talent go other places for opportunities. And this is $1 billion company that's global. This is the way it is. I have a small CrossFit gym and a couple of them. And of course I'm going to lose talent, lose people, because we can't grow enough or give them other opportunities if I keep making them better. But you know what? It's okay, because I want to create the environment that people want to be a part of. I don't want some stringent piece where no one wants to come work there because we're not helping our people because of the what ifs. That sucks. So that's important, to take care of your people, and whether it's sending them to a coach development program or send them to coach at another gym for a couple of days to get some feedback, you giving them feedback, but again, unfortunately, the big problem with this is that usually owners and head coaches don't feel like they need to get better at coaching, they need to get better at other things. I have no respect for you if you say that. It gets me so mad. I know that's maybe offensive, but if you don't feel like you need to get better and you can't be humbled, then I don't think you should be in this profession. I genuinely get frustrated when you cannot be as so naive that that the learning has ended. And remember the fundamentals. CrossFit is based on fundamentals. Human movement's the common language. Where do most coaches struggle? Teaching, seeing, correcting, the ability to manage a group, the ability to actually move well. How come I see 10-year affiliate owners that don't look in shape? You've been doing CrossFit for 10 years. This stuff is so potent and effective. Listen, understand extreme circumstances, but you need to be living this program. You have to. It's so effective when it's done poorly. So do it. And we talked about with Jason Ackerman in previous episodes, but you got to get out there and do this stuff. You got to eat meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some free, little starch and no sugar, and keep those intake levels to support exercise, not body fat. And you need to be busting your ass in workouts that have variance, intensity, and functionality all dosed in nicely, and do it consistently. You need to, when you're coaching, be getting feedback, even if you're the head coach. If you program, get feedback on your programming, right? And this is why we deliver programming to gyms, because I think it helps actually deliver a better product. Does the workouts we create make a gym better? I don't think so. I think it's the tools that we give the gym owners and the head coaches to implement the programming that allow them to be better coaches, warm up their athletes, teach your athletes, scale them effectively, see and correct through that process, and then have an appropriate class relative to the stimulus of the workout. And all the while, if we can take some time off someone's plate, they can do whatever they want else in life, but also hopefully invest back more in themselves or their people. So again, in closing, if you want to be a better CrossFit gym, you need to be a better coach. How do you do that? Set the standard, prepare, develop, create lesson plans, give feedback, get feedback. The biggest area of improvement is tangible skills, and less in your ability to teach, but more in your understanding of what your focus is and what you're teaching, then therefore what you're looking for, what you're seeing, what are you correcting, how are you correcting it, and then are we relentless and empathetic and acknowledging improvement, of course, across the hour. Ties obviously back into programming as well, ladies and gentlemen, that if you program too much, you're not going to be as effective of a coach because you're blowing the whistle. Again, what are your goals? Remember that. Ask yourself what your goals are, and that can be a really helpful scenario to start to understand a little bit there. Okay. Now, finally, I think that when it comes down to this, hold yourself to a higher standard. Care about what you do. Really ask yourself what your goals are. What are your goals as a gym, as a coach, as a business? That will dictate whether you actually care about your quality of coaching on the floor and what you expect. Because sometimes you do have to take one step back to take two steps forward, if not more, and that's not easy to do, certainly when you run a business. But history is pretty clear on what happens when we chase dollar signs forever. It's okay to do it, and it's okay for it to be a part of that, but we need to understand what the simple fundamentals of what this is based on. The fitness industry is not changing, it's evolving. It's not like fitness is fitness and the people are people. They need to do the same things that they did 100 years ago. Stay fit, because we're moving less, so we need to move more. What's the importance of high skills? We teach people how to actually do new things, which is invigorating. Never break that cycle. All right, gang. Soapbox, Austin Malleolo, keep it under 20 minutes. Thank you guys. Let me know in the comments. Hit me up, shoot me up on Instagram if you have questions, but hopefully you guys are enjoying this stuff, and we will chat next week.